Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. How are you all? How's it going? It's the middle of the week. You know that means it's Wednesday, hump day, as they say. Today, I've got a special guest. Now, you may not know who he is. He goes by Malcolm Flex, or his new Twitter handle, Return of the Flex, because he recently got booted off of Twitter and has made his triumphant return. And, I've actually been trying to get him on my show for quite some time because I always tend to appreciate his takes on things. And it is a pleasure to bring on Malcolm Flex. Welcome to the show, Malcolm. How you doing?
Oh, how's it going? How's it going? Sorry, I didn't know I was a person after I got depersoned by Lord Dorsey. So, being back online is a very, very surprising development for me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing well.
How was that? You were in Twitter jail, or is that count still in Twitter jail? I mean, I don't even know.
I,
Are you breaking rules? I'm not sure. Am I like blowing up your spot right now?
you may be. I was in the gulag,
Ooh,
definitely.
the cyber
hmm
gulag. I hear it's paradise though.
It is. It is. They give us one meme a day, and we live off of that. We
that's,
subsist off of a single meme.
that's all you get.
hmm
Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully it's one that you haven't seen yet.
I know.
So let's talk about you. A lot of people might not know who you are.
Mhm.
I've been following you for quite some time. I know you're in the medical field, and let's start there. What is your main profession?
All right. Well, classically, I think people would probably say that I fall under the broad umbrella, first off,
Oh,
that is scientist.
oh
But
goodness sakes!
so, again, since
That means
everybody's,
nothing.
I know, since everybody's a scientist these days, but no, I'm just a researcher.
Okay.
So I actually specialize in clinical research, which means
Okay.
that we typically work with patient pools and we actually collaborate with a lot of hospitals or a specific hospital where we're centered out and we draw patient pools using MDs at that facility
Okay.
to basically they act as the PIs or the primary investigators for their studies and they allow us to conduct the research, call up their patients, have actual research visits and
Ah,
execute a certain research protocol with them. So it's a
interesting.
nice little robust field, but there's a lot of divergences and things where, again, if you're not careful, people will get the wrong idea about
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I actually make a joke. I've actually made plenty of jokes that people think that I'm always in the lab 24/7, sitting up here doing, working with all these different Eppendorf pipettes and, conducting, creating essays and stuff like that,
Hmm.
But no, no, most of it, especially with how research is these days,
Yeah.
has been gone dry. So it's a lot of surveys, a lot of data collection, a lot of sorting out, parsing data, maybe some statistics, but there is still some lab work. But research ain't like what they show in the movies, where you got the evil guys in lab coats.
Yeah.
hmm
I have to ask the first thing that pops in my head though, because I've read different medical studies and so many medical studies. My goodness, I am so over
Yes.
it. But and they're difficult to read sometimes. But I've also found a lot of them many times contradict each other. Right? So I'll read one
hmm
study and then I'll read another study that basically says the opposite of the other thing. Um, so you say you work with hospitals. How do you know that the information that you're getting is accurate and not, um, you know, fudged to prove a narrative that then you're getting specific ones? Like do you know that it's raw data? I mean, it's your industry, so I'm sure
Right.
you have some knowledge of that.
Unfortunately, that's all up to human error typically.
Mm,
Normally when a CRO or a contract research organization basically reaches out to you and wants to use your site to conduct research, there'll be moments where again you can either hire a team that's specifically tailored to that staff, or if you have people on there who have an interest in the studies that you're running, you can basically bring them. You can basically say, "Hey, do you want to do this study?" If they accept, then
yeah.
they basically learn the protocol, and then next thing you know, once they've gone through all the requisite trainings, they basically clear things up with, your clinical research associates, which honestly, those guys they're overpaid, but man, they have a sweet gig.
Yeah.
That's but
Is
once
it,
you go, you clear things up with the clinical research associates. They make sure that you're in the green.
yeah.
It's basically on them to conduct research, make sure that they're entering the data properly, make sure that there's integrity, and that when they're admitting patients to studies, that they don't have any disqualifying factors, or
Yeah.
there's no risk to the patient. Sometimes you have to have your primary investigator sign off on specific people because they might not be in the ideal patient population. And so you really don't know what you're getting, which is why you get so much variance. And that's the
Yeah.
only front end on the data collection and then entering it into EDC, or electronic data capture.
Yeah.
That's just the first part. Then you have to have the back end review, and there's a lot of the publishing of the information that's left up to the sponsor or client that we're conducting research for normally. So
Okay.
again, you don't know what they're going to be using your data for. All you know is that you're consenting, you're seeing the patient, you're handling the samples, doing whatever preparation or conducting whatever experiments that the protocol basically, specifies. And then after that, you don't know.
Yeah.
So that's the dirty little secret of the industry. A lot of people don't actually, they don't think that it's that many moving parts or that it's that complex, but yeah, it really is.
I mean, I've felt like it would have been pretty complex, because it takes forever to get going through things going to be approved. I would say that even that isn't enough sometimes.
Oh
But that's
yeah.
interesting.
A lot
So
of people
what?
think it's just put chemical in the beaker or the flask, shake it up,
Shake it
pour
around
it
and
out. Mm-hmm.
see, it works. Aha, yeah.
I
Uh,
know.
so is there any specific um, branch of the medical world that you're more focused on? Like virology or I don't know, anything. What is it? Are you just kind of like, I'm just the research guy? Like, you want me to research? I'll go over the numbers. You give me the different people, and do exactly as you just explained. Or is it kind of like um, more specific on something that you're researching?
Well, I'm actually a generalist, and I think that's actually the appeal. But
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
was, I'll say though that there is a common theme in a lot of my studies that, barring the one study that I'm contractually unable to talk about, there is,
Okay.
precision medicine has ended up becoming kind of a niche for me.
Yeah,
That's basically just the process of customizing your medical approach to a patient's individual genetics, or just, their whole genome. So there's
yeah,
a very big area of growth there, and that's actually where I center around. I happened upon it. A lot of
yeah.
people don't like to do those studies just because there's just so much that you have to learn on the front end with the protocols, and it's kind of an area where you're siloed in. So
Well,
I've
it
fallen
almost
into
feels
that.
it feels like that's kind of where we're moving. I mean,
Hmm.
are you seeing that a lot, that we're really starting to make specific medicines per the person that's um I I mean, man, it's so hard to not instantly have a question that would get me
Oh yeah.
banned, because there's something I want to ask,
I
and
know. I know what you want to ask. I
you
know
know
what
what I
you want
mean?
to
And
ask.
it's like
Hmm.
we have to have specific medicines for each individual body, because we are very
Yes.
drastically different. Not
Hmm.
one thing could work for everyone.
We're
Uh,
basically.
I'll leave it at that, right? I guess
Mhm.
I can't really get too much into details, but so that's awesome. So you're clearly you're very knowledgeable about the industry, and
So
that's
I've
why
heard.
that's why it's very entertaining. If you guys don't know, this guy is a professional dunker. He absolutely shreds people apart very openly, very brazenly,
Uh,
and it's almost like a sport to you on Twitter. It's very fun to follow him. I actually posted it in the link below. There is or in the description, it's a link to his new Twitter, or his current Twitter page. I'll
mhm.
just say that. And so you can watch him go to work. It's almost like a side job to this guy. So it seems. And you've been very vocal about it, and Twitter banned you, right?
Mhm.
So why did they ban you? Because from what I've seen, you call a lot of people out, but it's with logic, and I rather enjoy that part of it, because you don't. I mean, you're rather spicy sometimes, but
Yes.
you use the logic like a freaking baseball bat. So what happened?
Well,
What was the tipping point?
I think the tipping point was kind of in my last couple of days. Again, my approach really went from a scalpel to, like you just said, a baseball bat.
Okay.
I really started using some of the insults like cudgels only because there's so much intellectual disingenuousness or
True.
disingenuity when it comes to discourse online and on Twitter. And at some point, you get a little bit jaded. You
Yeah.
get to the point where you're just like, you know what, man, I really don't want to talk to this person, but for some odd reason, they're under my tweets where I said nothing about them, made no specific reference, as if I summoned them to give
Yeah.
their opinion. So,
Yep.
my friend Ron Coleman, he's pretty spicy on the back end of a lot of things. He actually he told me on his podcast when I was there after I had first, disappeared. He said, man, like some of those guys that, are in our little group, man, we saw you getting real greasy. And I was like, what, me?
Me?
Really? Literally me?
What?
No, couldn't be.
Yeah,
But no,
right.
I owned up. I'm a man of, I am a man of many things, but I will always be at the very least intellectually honest. And so I owned up to it. I said,
Good.
you know what, you're pretty much right. I started turning up the savage a little bit too much because it is addicting. It's like, especially when you do, when you counter ratio where people think they're coming on, they're going to make you, suddenly apologize or put your account on private or be like, oh my God, I can't do it. All the mean twits and stuff. And, it's just like, bruh, like
You're,
y'all don't realize y'all are giving me entertainment. This is
yeah,
actually perfect.
I can
So,
see that.
yeah, so
Well,
I actually,
on
oh, go
the
ahead.
subject of discourse, because there's a lot of times where you'll almost go out of your way to try to give people an olive branch. It's
Mm-hmm.
you'll start with that, like, well, this is why you're wrong. I'm just letting you know. I was listening
Mm-hmm.
to what's Matthew McConaughey on NPR today. He was doing a Spaces, this new Spaces thing. They brought it back,
Oh, yeah.
and he was saying about how discourse has been changed, and people are not having conversations. They're just trying to convince the other side why they're wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
that's an issue, because we have to learn how to have conversations where we can validate the other side. Like, look, I understand your side of things. I want to help you understand my side of things. People are now just trying to tell others why they're wrong, and that's it. That's the only thing. You're just wrong. You're in and that's what those people are trying to do. They just get on your page. They don't want to hear back from you. They
No.
don't care about that. They just want to tell you're wrong. And as soon as you counter them, you're like, oh, you think I'm wrong? Cracks
Mm-hmm.
knuckles, and you go to work. And that's
Yeah.
you take a step back, and that's happening on so many different levels in everything, in politics and um, school boards, and I mean everything. I mean, everyone. There's no more civil discourse anymore. It's such a shame.
Mm-hmm. That is 110% it, man. It's become part of it, I think, is the proliferation of social media. We've gotten to the point where, again, people are so, and I want to phrase this tactfully, but they're so socially inept
Yep.
that the art of persuasion has died. It's taken a nosedive. It's dead.
Yep.
Throw in the towel, barrier. People don't understand how to persuade people. There are
Right.
select few people that still do. A lot of those people become politicians, and they do nothing except for dupe people out of tax money. Thanks for that bridge to nowhere, people, and thanks for all this infrastructure. But again, that's the problem.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. Everything is infrastructure now. This
Eh,
oxygen, infrastructure. Man, smell that
Don't even get me
infrastructure.
started on that freaking infrastructure BS, dude. It's
Yeah,
so
but no,
stupid.
dude, people are ruined though, and that's part of the issue is that nobody has any. I think it's the EQ, emotional quotient. You know how people always say, I've got big brain, 140 IQ. A lot of people don't have very good EQ. They don't understand empathy, how to empathize, how to,
Yep.
basically be sociable and receive a message
Yes.
and then take that message and create some kind of permutation that will be receivable by the other person and give it to them. People don't
Exactly.
understand how to do that anymore. Nowadays, I've gotten this doctrine from this person, this expert. I'm gonna bang yourself over the head. I'm gonna bang you over the head with that like a cudgel,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually they just do it until somebody says, "Okay, you know what? I'm done with this. You're not listening. Bye bye." okay, well, you should have did that about 5 or 6 tweets ago, but never mind.
Right.
Here we are. And so that's where we're at. So discourse is dead. And
Yeah, it is.
it's unfortunate, but we can either mourn it or we can adapt. So by dunking on people, I'm basically adapting, because if you're going to say something stupid, you ought to get told how stupid what you said
Yeah,
sounds.
yeah. I mean,
Make bullying great again.
well, yeah, essentially that could be an answer. And that's kind of what I wanted to go into. Like, how do we inject emotional intelligence back into society? Like, how do we bring that to the forefront? Because I feel like if more people had empathy, things would make more sense, or not make more sense, but those people that don't care about anyone else, like, oh, if you don't believe what I believe, then you're a Nazi. They go to that extreme. If they had just a little bit of empathy, they would understand, or at least see a little bit, and maybe finally realize that this utopian world that they all imagine, that everyone will all get along, everyone will agree on every single thing.
Happen.
It's never going to happen. It's just not. It's an impossibility. No one will ever agree with everyone else. That's just not how humans are, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're so drastically different. We were talking about it a little bit before the show started. It's just like there's 7 billion, almost 8 billion people on this planet. It's crazy.
Right. And everybody has just some different form of, pathology.
Mm-hmm.
There's some way that they receive a message. So you can say, hey, how's it going? Okay, you're going to get a number of good answers. A lot of them are going to be, oh, doing fine. But then you're going to have people that are going to say, oh, well, my day's bad. I stubbed my toe on the way out the door. I stepped in a puddle of water. Now I got wet socks. One word can be received a number of different ways. And so
True.
the issue with that is, again, we've got to be able to custom tailor our approach. Like, there's no ideal way for us to create a society that people are all going to get along in, and that we're all just going to suddenly be feeling just, happy
Yep.
in this one utopia. But it starts with dads raising their kids. That's the first thing, because I'm noticing in our increasingly matrilineal society. And I don't want to get into the whole absent father thing, because again, that's been beaten to high hell, especially with the Black community. There are actually a lot more fathers present in the black community than we think. But the issue is, you have a lot of present absentee fathers.
Yeah.
People that are in the house, but they're too busy on their phones and
Or
on
playing
other
games or
things.
anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they're
I don't
not
even
raising
think it's
kids.
in that community alone. I think that phrase, absent fathers, like, it's not even a race thing, because I think that's just prevalent across society in general. This whole, I mean, how many, I was on Tinder back in the, I mean, I'm married now, but I've been on there, and years ago, and I just was like, whatever, seeing what it was like, and there were so many women with kids. It's not. I have cousins that are, oh, I'm dating this girl who's got a couple kids, like, whatever. It's like a normal thing now to just have kids. So it's normal to have kids without a husband, and it's also normal to just get abortions. Like, I mean, that's a whole nother subject. I'm not trying to like really bring that up, but
don't ban us, bro. But
right,
no,
it's normalized, both sides of those things.
And that's a problem. That's the where we're at. And it's weird, because again, there's not even a comfortable way to broach that conversation. Like, you can't go up to a kid and say, hey, who made you? Or you cannot ask the woman, hey, who'd you allow to redecorate your internal and walls?
Right.
I'm trying to very hard to not be vulgar with this, but it's like, who did you basically run off on you on the first night? That's what we really need to figure out. But then, that gets into a whole nother layer. Rampant sexuality. Think about it. You just said you were on Tinder. What do we use Tinder for, guys?
I hated it too. I actually, I went on, I think, 2 dates total, and they were terrible. I instantly regretted it. I met my
Mhm.
wife in real life. We met in a
Yes.
beautiful in interaction. The sparks flew. I was blinded, right? She's now
Mhm.
my wife. Like every other girl just disappeared because it
Yeah.
was a moment that I will never forget for the rest of my life. That day is burnt into my memory, and like you can't
Same
get
here.
that with Tinder. It's like
It's too
I
formulaic.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I'm very much against that whole thing because you don't get the vibes from people, right? There's this
No.
energy that human beings have when you're around someone else. You'll never ever get that from a picture,
Even worse,
ever,
it's like a
ever.
routine. It's like a routine. Like there's this unspoken routine that you have to go on Tinder where first off, when you swipe on somebody and you match, first y'all are going to share a couple of barbs, they're going to make a couple of remarks about your person, first off, you share a couple of barbs, then next thing you know, you got to make her laugh. Or
Yeah,
if you make her laugh on the first one, okay, well now we got to have a follow-up to the conversation. We got to keep it interesting. And after
right,
that, you maybe share a few vague platitudes about your life. You try to come off as mysterious but successful as possible, yada yada. And
right,
then
right,
after that, you assume that she's not over here texting Mr. Chad Thunder something that I can't
right,
say, and that you've got a chance to shoot your shot for the number. And it's like
right.
that's such a soulless, formulaic process that
Yeah,
you never get to know anybody, but they do get to know this idealized version of you where that luster eventually wears off. And what do you think
right.
happens when you lose that luster?
Yeah, they move
You know,
on. They go to the next one. It's like
mhm. And
I
you
don't.
pray that they use protection before they moved on because
Oh my gosh.
otherwise, here you go.
Well, that whole
And
thing too. I mean, people are not using protection, and they don't care anymore because there is no
mhm.
accountability. I feel like we're
Yeah.
shooting at like multiple different targets right now, but I mean, all this kind of stuff needs to be talked about. I hear you got kids in the background. It's like, you know, that's really cute. I mean, I'm looking forward to being a dad. No, no joke. Like
Oh.
I
Mhm.
can't wait. I'm actually in my dad's house, and I have spent a lot of time over the past couple weeks hanging
That's
out with my
amazing.
dad. And I don't live around here anymore, so I cherish these moments. And I learned a lot from him. And we talk about fathers being in the household. I don't
Mhm.
know what I would do if I didn't have uh, if my dad didn't change his whole life for me, and he really did. And
Yeah.
that's a good father.
Taking
When
that
you've
step.
that's it. Like he really
Mhm.
I'm looking back at what he did. I'm like, wow, like that I learned a lot from him, and I can't wait to change my life for my kids. Right.
That's amazing.
And
That and I mean,
how do we instill that? How do we bring that back to that responsibility, that um how good that feels? I don't know what it feels like yet. You
I
do.
think we're
You're
taking the
you're dead.
steps.
Yeah.
I think I think we're finally, sort of taking the steps. A lot of, you see all the information about what people are doing when they're going to the school boards now. So much so that the
Those
most
domestic
popular
terrorists.
president. I know. Oh
Can
my
you
God.
believe that?
Excuse me. I don't like you teaching my son. Hey, FBI, open up. It's like, what are we doing? But that's the step that needs to be taken is because people are so disconnected from what their kids are doing. You
Right.
know, they just give their kids smartphones and give them tablets and
Yep.
then just let them go off and roam the uncensored internet and probably end up on TikTok. And then
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, they're sitting up here absorbing all of these negative social mores and these bad ideas.
That
And then a few
that
years down
China
the road,
controls and
China,
is
China.
manipulating the algorithms. Please continue though.
But yeah, it's like, oh, and don't even get me started on algorithm manipulation. We've got a whole generation of kids that have grown up nurtured by an algorithm. Think about
True.
that.
That's true. It's
And that,
scary
like,
actually when you put it that way.
mhm. And so what we're looking at right now is that we're in a situation where, your kids, a few years down the line, they've consumed so much of this trash media, followed so many of these trends, and again, their neuropsychology, it's still developing so much. And then
True.
by the time they're 16, 17, and you're finally trying to have a conversation with them as an adult almost, or they're
The
this person that's just reprehensible to you. You can't stand them. You're like, okay, just go off to college. I'm done. I don't want to be around them, and that's what we end up getting. And then these
And that's what
kids,
they want also.
hmm and
And
they
the
grow up with resentment though against their parents. That's another thing that we don't talk about. And guess
Yep.
what? If they haven't been properly parented, I've learned this. My mom's always told me this, and she still tells me this while I'm raising my kids. Kids crave structure. Subconsciously they really do. They want to, they want to be disciplined in a way that just lets them know that you care. And when you
Yeah.
don't do it, and they grow up, who do you think they're going to get to do it?
Govern me harder, daddy.
Oh my God, tax me harder, Grandpa. Like, but no, that's literally where we're at
I
right
know.
now.
It's crazy. I mean, they're advocating for more government. I just when the freaking attorney general said to the FBI, if parents oppose critical race theory, they are domestic terrorists. That I feel like if there is a line in the sand, that was it, and they stepped past it. I mean, seriously, Martin Luther King would be turning in his grave if they found out that they're teaching that you have a different color skin than I do. Therefore, you should be treated differently. Oh my goodness!
Sorry. I know. I'm shocked. It came back because I didn't vote for Joe, so I didn't know when that was going to wear off. But thank you.
Did you like wake up one day and you were a different color?
Look, I woke up. My credit score was good. I had a good car. The roads in my neighborhood weren't cracked up. And gosh dang it, not voting for Joe was the best thing I ever did. But no. Okay, all right. Back, again, before I get too rescared with my commentary, it's like the situation that we're dealing with, especially with individuals of my skin color that push these sort of narratives that talk about like racial division and, the Ibram X. Kennedy stuff where we need new discrimination. A lot of these people, we like to call them, especially in certain circles, new blacks. They get into tells them like, hey, you're great for being black. And then they start integrating in all these racial identity groups, in these groups where, where they make you feel like I'm black and I'm proud and all this, which that's not really indicative of the real black experience. But then they take it to the next level.
Yeah.
They start projecting and, reading all of these books written by these think pieces.
White liberal people.
Equity. Yes, there you go. So again, they get to that point, and then it's like, now they're on Twitter talking greasy. It's like the real black people that live in black neighborhoods still, they're like, we don't rep with any of this. Again, black people are really, really conservative deep down. Like these liberal blacks that you see, it's so weird to see them because, again, if you were with them in person, which that goes back to what we were talking about, their energy is off. They don't move like we do. They can't speak the lingo. It's like if you were to talk to them, they would sound very forced. They would sound robotic. It would be scripted. They don't understand the history. Like you said, Martin Luther King would be rolling in his grave. And we're about to go back to segregation days. Because again, it's like black people understand what it's like when you got to drive to the white part of town, just to go shopping at the Publix or the Kroger. I guess back in the day, it was the food mart where you got to drive to the nice part of town to do that. Because again, your neighborhood is separate from their neighborhood, and there's an income disparity. Because again, you can't get good businesses because it's just not profitable. So black people, we don't want that. We want a society where, again, we can just patronize anybody that we want to. If I want to go to a white business, I should be able to go to a white business. I shouldn't have to go to this white racial block of this area. And then now I'm looking like the one chocolate chip on sugar cookie, and I'm confused. Like that's weird, but that's what these people that have never been in that situation believe. That's what they think that black people want.
Yeah,
that's why we call them new blacks. Again, the black experience.
I've never even heard that term before.
Oh, you got to visit Black Twitter, man. Black Twitter is awesome. That's like the best part of Twitter.
Is it?
So,
All right.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, meritocracy, right? That's how I like to think. I want the best person for the job to be in that job, right? That's how it should be. Like the best supermarket, the best deli. I lived in Brooklyn. I would travel for blocks and blocks. I would skip like 7 delis to go to the one deli that I knew made the best sandwiches. You know what I mean? And meritocracy rules. That's how it should be. And now they're pushing like, oh, well, you should, and it's everywhere. It's in the construction industry. It's in all these different industries throughout America right now. It's just this push for, well, we should have a POC owned, minority owned, blah, 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 blah. Even though it might suck, we're actually worsening. I mean, I'm not, if it happens to be that company and they get it because they're the best for the job, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Sure, diversity should exist, but also we shouldn't throw meritocracy to the side. We shouldn't let that go.
Diversity.
Right.
Like,
that is the dumbing down of America. We're losing our strength by doing that. And they're trying, that's whole equity.
That goes back to parenting.
Good point.
You learn strength from your father. You know, most of the times, if you've only had a mother in your life, you've learned comfort, you learned love and care, but it's a different kind of love than the love that you're going to get from the world. And a lot of these people haven't been, they haven't been fathered properly.
Right.
I'll put it like this, and this may be controversial, but it's like until you've had your butt whooped by a belt and then sat down in your room for a bit, and then your dad walks in and you're like, son, I didn't want to whoop you, but you got to understand, if I don't parent you, if I don't discipline you here, the world's going to discipline you out there, and there ain't no redos, there's no second chances, there's no other tries. Until you've had that, you've understood the harshities of the world from your dad, and you've understood that's a different type of love.
Yeah.
You think that everything in the world should be soft. This should be candy cane, sunshine, and rainbows, and that's just going to lead you to create or try to create a utopia. And those people that would sell you that dream, those are those charismatic individuals with the EQ that understand that y'all over here looking like licks, so we gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sell you this. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be making money for my contractor buddies on the back end, or I'm gonna be gaining power and I'm gonna be buffing up my stock portfolio. Hi there, Pelosi. How's it going?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're dealing with.
See, now there's going to be a huge portion of people out there that'll hear what you just said, and you're now a bigot. How dare you say that a single mother can't be a father to their child? I can't even say it with a straight face, but that's what they're thinking. It's like these women they're being told to be men, that these figures in movies and this whole movement to like make these strong masculine men, like that's not what a woman is. I mean, it's not. That's the man's place versus the woman's is what
I was about to say. Getting a woman that's trying to be a man is basically you're getting a second-rate man and a terrible woman all in one. So
because you can't do one, do the one that and then and maintain. Humans have been around for those who don't know a long time, thousands of years, of years, right? And we should I don't know, maybe stick to some traditions that work.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? This actually. All right, I'm going to bring this up because normally when I do an interview, we just kind of rant, and this is I'm having a lot of fun. But this is so perfect and on point to our conversation. I can't believe how naturally we just got to this point. I am going to talk about the new Playboy cover. All right. I don't know how many people have seen this. Now, I asked you, you actually haven't seen this cover. So the new Playboy cover.
I bet it's sexy.
Oh my!
You're laughing. I'm not happy about that laugh.
Okay, so I'm just gonna show you the title first. Playboy releases October cover featuring a man. That's right, featuring a man. All right, so now I'm gonna be going over to the actual. This is the cover. All right, bam, there we go. This is the new cover of Playboy.
Come on. In the stream, we're done here. That's it. God, throw the population in the trash bin, bro.
All right. Sorry, everyone's eyeballs. I'm gonna get rid of this. Hold on, let me.
It's a Playboy though. That is a Playboy, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but
that is honest marketing.
Okay, in the traditional sense of the word, what a Playboy is, maybe yes, but this is Playboy magazine. It's for men
Mhm.
who like to look at nude women, right? Nude women. I mean, that's tradition. And actually, I have a bunch of vintage Playboys that someone gave me that are from the 60s and 70s. It's pretty cool. They actually have a
Oh,
bunch of cool articles, and it's like an actual men's magazine with a bunch of naked women also in it. And they've kind of lessened the dumbing down of America, of course. Now it's just nudie mags. I haven't I haven't
yeah.
ever bought a Playboy magazine, and this is the state of it now. They're putting men on the cover. It is a
Well,
man.
aren't you glad you ain't got to break the addiction or be disappointed? Like, this in the Playboy I grew up with, darn it. Back in my
I
day, we used to whack our jimmies to some good old women. What is it? You know, like, okay, all right, guys.
Do you call it a Jimmy? What?
Look, man, I'm over here. I'm trying not to get you banned. I'm doing you a favor.
Thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate that. I mean, and after seeing this, I'm bringing it back. I got to bring it back. It's a man. I'm fairly certain he's gay. It's like bare chested. It's very clearly a man. I don't understand. There's Playgirl magazine. Isn't that where they put men? Wouldn't that make more sense that or because he likes men, and or is it or does he identify as a woman and that's what they're trying to do? Um, I,
mm,
I don't really understand, but of course, CNN had to do an article about it. And just to let you know, this wasn't even the first man on Playboy. And I mean, I haven't been paying attention to Playboy much. Whatever, only those vintage Playboys I thought there was kind of cool. But it turns out they actually had another man on there. And here's their first one.
yeah.
This is also a man, very clearly a man. He's
What
got
are we doing here?
a
What are we doing?
breaking barriers. Let's see here. What do they
Golly.
say? He has powers because he thinks differently and has a vision of the future beyond what others see. Oh my goodness.
I really hope he does, because what I see is nothing good, man.
It's a
Nothing
man.
good, bro.
I don't understand. Like it.
That's
Are
a
they?
man.
It's that's a man. Yeah. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to push away their whole base, like their entire base? Like all of
Hold
them?
on. I just had a brain blast here, bro. I just had a brain blast. This is 69D chess. Okay.
Oh.
The creators of Playboy are actually staunch conservatives, and they said, you know what, we're tired of all of these yuppies in this company, so we're gonna kill it. We're gonna kill it. It's like the Ryan Johnson, destroy destroy it, just get rid of it. So what they're doing is they're going to tank this down, and they're going to turn off everybody, so the stocks go down, and we kill degeneracy altogether. Wanking will be a thing of the past. The Christian society, they're doing the Lord's work, God dang it, hallelujah. So that's okay. That's
Maybe we'll take it one step further. It's actually what is it? 80D chess, whatever. One further D. It's
too many D's.
It's feminists that are acting like conservatives to try to bring down Playboy because secretly they think that's part of the patriarchy. And they want to bring down the patriarchy. And of course, Playboy magazine, it's objectifying women. It's giving men something to spank their jimmies too. I'm sorry, I've never heard that phrase before. Yeah. And it's really funny. Man,
we have too many D's in this Playboy conversation. I am not afraid to tell you this, man. Like, we're getting to layers of strategy at the mind to not go to. But no, that's actually. But think about this though, and I want I don't want to bury the lead there, because that was so amazing, so stunning and brave of a conversation that we were on.
Yeah.
But, it's so funny because people will think that the person in their somebody in their life is playing this intricate, immaculate strategy like that, where there's fake outs, there's feints, there's sudden moves, and they're playing around your plans and stuff. Yet when it comes to the government, people believe that everybody in government only operates on one layer of strategy, or they're just honest to a fault. And I can't figure that out for
people really think that? Wait, no way.
81 million people. 81 million people. Most popular in history. Do I have to tell you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I
After
lost
the
my blackness
after the
going against
Mar-
the most
after
popular.
after the Maricopa County audit, though, this whole every time he's like 81 million people voted for me. He said it yesterday, like it was
Oh,
some
he
sort
said it
of
with pride too, man. Like he
right,
puffed
over
that
and
little
over,
old man. Yeah. Like,
over and over again, and it's like there was tens of thousands of duplicate ballots. There's ballots missing. I've seen videos of them recounting ballots over and over and over again. It's
double
like
counting. Yep.
81 million. What's going to
They
come
reached the
out
number
one time?
somehow.
Yeah,
They
they
reached the
reach.
number somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see. It's coming out. I did a segment yesterday talking about how they're pushing for a nationwide audit. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see.
Nah,
Or even
nah,
if it does, if something's going to happen from it, I don't know. Who knows?
yeah. Well, I have an amazing habit of black pilling people, and I will say
Okay.
this: right now, in order for us to get any of that, we've got so many layers of trash to deal with. First off, we've got a
True.
intelligence structure that's mobilized against the people. It's been mobilized. Did you hear about Google now, where they're actually going to be cooperating with the federal government to send information about your search history to the government?
I'm
So
sorry. What
now,
now?
yeah, Google. Yeah. So now, not only do you have not only do you have your NSA agent, your FBI spook that checks in on you at night. Now you got some underpaid Google employee. I know Disclosed TV broke it. So now you've got so many people looking through your stuff, and we have absolutely no privacy. That's just the first layer of things that we have to combat. Then we've got this woke military structure that seems all the happier to crack down on their own civilians and to lock down the nation's capital and turn it into some enemy fortification. Then on
Wow.
top of that, yeah, I don't. Did
Hold
you
on.
see it?
I gotta bring this up. Government secretly orders Google to track anyone searching certain names, addresses, and phone numbers.
Yahoo News.
Wow.
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
I know, right? That's where we're at. So, I mean, we've got a lot of things to take down first off before we can even,
That's a good point.
well, to defend against, number
Yeah.
one. And that's the problem that I find with conservatives in general. Again, I come from a different school of thought. I've actually changed from being anarcho-capitalist to more libertarian to finally more conservative. And the process that took me there is called growing up a little bit more.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I kind of realize that there's these barriers between, again, when you get into these really specialized ideologies of governance and economics, and it's just people won't agree enough for you to bring that to fruition. So it's
Right.
like get in where you fit in right now. Conservatives, they've got the hot hand, they've got an easy base for us to really work with.
Mhm.
So, and they care about liberty. But the issue is that conservatives are overly defensive. Like, when's the last time that you've seen a conservative push a conservative policy to shape or reform the nation?
It's a good point.
Our policies are always diametrically opposed to that of the left. It's always in defense. We're always making the second move. We're never
Yeah.
being proactive. And you can say that that's just by nature of the conservative ideology because, again, conservatism or conservatism, God, I love adding the extra B. But conservatism is all about keeping in tradition, which is naturally defensive.
Yeah.
Whereas communism and socialism, all of these leftist ideologies, they're all about changing tradition.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's naturally aggressive. That's very much encroaching on tradition. So that's really where we're at is that, again, we're not in a very good position to stop any of this. Like, I just don't know how we do it because, again, it seems like our politicians, they get it, they run these amazing, robust campaigns, say all this good stuff, go on stage with the guns, walk through the hoods and the ghettos, talking about we're going to bring them back to schools, and then they get in Congress, they eat that first steak dinner and they get the itis for their whole term.
Yeah.
They just fall
Exactly.
asleep. So I'm trying to figure it out. How do we win? And number one, is there even a win condition?
Good
What's
question.
the win? Like we're fighting a 40-year multi-generational strategy that's finally coming to roost.
Yep.
And I tell conservatives this all the time. If you want to win, guess what? It's not going to be a sexy solution. You know what January the 6th was? That was a group of people that got very, very impatient and they lost their bearing.
I
And
don't agree with that. I don't
I
agree with
think
you.
I think so because again, well, a lot of those efforts, going down to DC. Let's be honest, conservative politicians ain't did jack shit. They're not going to do anything. They're
True.
never going to. They were never going to properly contest the most popular president in history. They were never going to do that. That was grandstanding for their own reelections. That effort would have been better served mobilizing in Georgia, getting people signed up so that we could have won that runoff, and we wouldn't be counting on Joe Manchin, who he could cave any day, and
Yeah.
Kirsten Sinema, who again voted for the impeachment. Let's not forget that. We wouldn't be hailing these people as the heroes, keeping us from basically losing the filibuster and ending up in a situation where we're going to lose our nation permanently.
Okay.
If we would have mobilized all that effort where through the process, we could have possibly done things.
Yeah.
That's where I have my gripe. And I told people, like, what's done going to DC? Like, at best, you get conservatives in the street and then you get Antifa coming out here whacking skulls and they get all kinds of propaganda of conservatives looking weak and scared. But at best, or I mean, at worst, you get propaganda against conservatives that sits up here and justifies a lot of action to people that already have the mass media apparatus at hand. Because let's be honest, we have fled the institutions.
Yeah.
I don't believe in fleeing the institutions. I don't believe in fleeing the battlefield.
Yeah. We're giving them the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can't do that. So I think personally that January 6th was a setup to
It was.
make Trumpers look like terrorists, and they've used it. It's insane because I talk about this a lot on my show. Like, I was there that day and I listened to Trump speak, and I went to the Capitol and I was peacefully protesting in front of the Capitol. I didn't even know that all the stuff went down. I was standing in the street when everyone started talking about someone just got shot inside. Like I heard it murmur through the crowd, and people didn't like start freaking out. They didn't like rage. They were like, "Oh, that's so sad." That's all they did. It wasn't like a shock. Maybe they should have been more mad, but like they weren't there raging. They were there trying to gather to have that evidence be seen in Congress that day, which of course they didn't even bring up, which annoys me because that's what I wanted. I wanted the election stuff that they found to be on the world stage on because it was live. You could watch everything live, and if they had all that stuff, that would have made more people doubt the election than they had, because there's a lot of people that are just like, nope, nothing wrong with the election. Anyone who says otherwise is absolutely crazy. If you want an audit, you're racist and you're anti-democracy. And I'm like, we're not even a democracy. Democracy is mob rule. Like, these people act like that statement, like, this is a danger to our democracy. You're threatening our democracy. Like, stop saying that. We're not. We're a group of states that all are supposed to have equal say in this constitutional republic that we are in. Democracy is actually a problem with this country right now because we're turning into it. It is becoming mob rule, and that's not okay. They're still talking about disenfranchisement, right? The people who are now getting disenfranchised are the people who live in the smaller states that now have no say. Think about Eastern Oregon, right? Portland makes all the rules for that whole state. It's rather blue when you go to that side of the state, and they hate it. Those people don't have any representation at all. Zero. None. What are they supposed to do? Right?
I'll go die then. That's literally what they say. I mean,
it's crazy.
It's bad, but that's the situation that we're in. And, again, it sounds good to people who don't have any concept of history.
Right.
That's the problem. And when they're rewriting history, burning books, and they're removing all the monuments to areas where, again, we as a nation went horribly wrong, but we learned and we became better for it. When they're removing all these monuments and things, you're going to get a repeat of that.
Yep.
So, again, that's another gripe that I have with removing Civil War icons, because now who's gonna, in a generation or two, who's going to even know about the Civil War?
Right.
We're leaving up the history books. But that's a very big issue when it comes to state representation, where the cities were really starting to grow too powerful and again enforce their way of life on a lot of southern states whose whole way of life was agriculture.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're repeating that. We're repeating that where the blue state metropolis, where a lot of the blue state metropolises are trying to basically govern as if they know what's best for the Rust Belt or for Middle America. For Joe Blow out there with a couple of couple of grain silos and a cornfield,
Hmm.
like trying to tell him that you don't need a gun to defend your property. That's X amount of miles away from any sort of life, let alone a police presence.
Right.
And
Exactly.
again, that's a lesson that we learn from history. We learn not to repeat it. That's where tradition comes into things. But the left, they eschew tradition. They don't want tradition, and therefore you're never going to learn from those lessons. And guess what? We're getting ready to repeat it.
Yep. It's
We're right
true.
here in that spot.
So you
So
you say that you black people and black peel. I don't know why I said it so oddly. So you're black pilling a lot of people out there and dunking on people on Twitter. Um, but you still seem rather I, I don't know if it's optimistic. You're more of a realist, I feel. But you're not defeated by it. You're not black pilled. It doesn't seem like I don't. So what do we do? That's what I always want to talk about. Like, all right, so sure, now we're in this situation. We're very obviously aware of where we're at. So what are the steps to remove that trash, as you say, these layers of
and
trash, to the root of the problem?
I got it. I got it. And now, like I said, it's a very unsexy solution. There's nothing good. It's not going to please a lot of people. A lot of people aren't going to be like, "Egad, let's go do it. We'll have it by the end of the month."
Yeah.
But you have to start becoming involved in your local politics. Do you know who your city
Mm.
council is? Do you know what's the deal with your school board? Have you started? And do you know who your sheriff is? Like, are you canvassing the neighborhood? Like,
Yes.
we need to really start getting involved in a lot of these local GOPs, and even for some people, these third parties, start getting involved, start showing up to meetings, start figuring out who you like, who's saying what needs to be done, look at their track records, and then you need to get out there and canvas for these people. Organize efforts to actually go sign people up, tell people, hey, did you know that pothole over there? Well, there's this one guy who says we wasted X amount of money on this stinking metro transport system that nobody uses, and maybe we need to divert or reallocate those funds. If you vote for
Mm.
this guy, I got faith in him. I think he's going to do real well. And you start doing that for all your politicians. Then next thing you know, you're creating a feeder system. Because the problem with the modern GOP is that there is no adequate talent feeder system. You know
Okay.
who most of our politicians end up being?
Hmm.
Law students and people who got
True.
internships with a politician because their father owns such and such mega court or
Right.
such and such business and can really help them out. So again, we have to have a concerted effort. I know a lot of people say, I do that, they do that, yada yada. But if it's not uniform and on the right, if it's not to the same level that the leftists push their zealots out here who constantly flag down businesses and institute change, it's not going to help. I
Right.
think Adam Townsend had an amazing quote that, it really resonated with me because it was a gut punch of all gut punches.
Okay.
He said, the left is out here wielding power, implementing policy, changing things, and encroaching their worldview on the rest of life. The right, meanwhile, is over here having a slam poetry contest online and high fiving each other on the back of the bus to the gulags. Think about that for a second.
Yeah,
Like we're over
he's
here, we're acting like we win.
yeah.
We're acting like we're doing all this great stuff, but we haven't done anything. We're sitting up here gunning for local and national elections, which are getting a lot more and more locked down. And let's be honest, DeSantis should have shown us that again. It's about the state level. It's about the gubernatorial races. It's about a lot of these municipalities
Yes, it is.
where, like, if you really want to change things, you've got to slowly and surely start conquering a lot of these smaller races. That way, you have a very good base of support to draw upon when it
Yep.
comes to getting your national and federal level politicians some kind of boost, or when it comes to finding that next guy. Like, I'll put it like this: our candidates right now that we're trying to run, Ron DeSantis who honestly probably shouldn't leave Florida because we need strong governors. Who's going to take his place in Florida, a swing state, mind you?
Right.
Let's be honest,
Exactly.
Florida has not always been red. It's a swing state. They've got a lot of momentum, but the culture is not permanently cemented there. So
True.
we're either pull one of our good governors, or we're going to run Trump, who's going to be the same age as Biden. And I like Trump. He did a lot of great things. Why did my Alexa turn on? Good God, they're listening. But I like no, he did a lot of great things.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if he ran again, I have confidence that he probably could do a good job if he learned from his mistakes that he
Right.
made in firing people and being too restrained and
And trusting the wrong people as well.
trusting the same swamp that you set out the drain, my guy.
Right. Yeah, come on, man. I agree.
Again, that's like if those are the only choices that we have, we don't have a field of pull in. Like if you're going to tell me that the next primary you're going to run Ted Cruz, Rand Paul. I like Dr. Rand Paul, but
I like Rand Paul. Yeah.
But again, he makes his bread. He bakes his bread in the Senate. That's what he does best. I don't know that he has a disposition or temperament for the national. And so that's the situation that we're really dealing with is like, we have no sort of feeder system. There's no dark horse candidate that's going to come out unless you're going to tell me Josh Hawley or somebody like that. We don't have a dark horse. Meanwhile, the left, they're over there, they're prepping their dark horses. They've got several young and up and coming politicians who are out here on Twitch and streaming. Maybe we can run Joe Kent. Joe Kent is a really good guy, but again, he's getting into politics.
Right.
And there's a process there to, build up some trust with independents. But that's you see what I'm getting at.
Absolutely.
We're trying
something
to go
I've been saying for a while.
Yeah, we ain't even completed the tutorial level. We're over here trying to fight the final boss as if we're sitting up here geared up and we got everything and we done prepped and we're ready. We haven't done anything.
Yep.
And I mean, part of that's just because again, we've just been living our lives. That's what conservatives do. They live their life. Leave me alone. I leave you alone. Tradition, keep everything as is. Let's raise some kids that go out here and raise their own kids. But that's what got us in the situation.
Yep.
So
exactly.
That's
amazing. That's the answer. That's the answer. I love it. Get in and start creating that solid base, because right now we have no solid base. It's gone.
None. We're trying to build a house. We're trying to build a house on a crawl space that doesn't exist, and we ain't even lay a slab. Like we were too lazy to even lay a. That's blue collar talk for those of y'all that are y'all ain't got calluses on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm joking. I'm pretty sure you got a pretty great audience, man. I think
my chat. No, my audience is amazing. Everyone who shows up for my show is incredible. My chat is fantastic.
But smashing that like button. I want to outpace any and everybody else, man.
Smash
the like button.
Smash a like. Come on, everybody. All right, let's it's been an hour. I want to get into some super chats. So I know you've got a family behind you. Let's get into it. We got Robert Wild starting it off saying, I hope this makes Betty smile and Diana Francisco smile. My pug is doing better. We're waiting on the blood work. I'll let you know more when I can. Right on, Robert. That's great to hear. Joshua became a member. Thank you very much. Ding, 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 ding. Because of that, you can now actually spam the actual UFO emote in chat. Let's see those, all those members out there. I just spammed a little bit myself. Jason Dixon says, Adam, I emailed you in reference to a potential great guest. He is a creator of a new coin/token. Oh, cool. Another cryptocurrency, huh? Wow. All right.
I've seen that before.
I'll check it out.
No, he's probably a great guy. Probably great.
Oh, snaps. Bryson Gray with a $50 super chat, just simply going, gang, gang. Let's go. Oh, snaps. Bryson, how you doing, mate? I got to get you back on the show. That's awesome. Thank you for that support, mate. Wow. All right. If you guys don't know, Bryson.
I feel like we got to do something a little special for you in the back room after tipping like that, man.
Dude, that guy, nothing but support from Bryson Gray. Seriously, especially once I went solo, Bryson has been supporting me from the get-go. It's really amazing. He actually drove, I think, 5 hours to join me in studio in Maryland before I left the area, and that was really awesome. So if you guys don't know who Bryson Gray is, you should definitely check him out. He is a fantastic musician and is killing it on his own, making moves, and it's independent. Dude is awesome. Thank you, Bryson. I really appreciate your support, mate. Joshua says, been feeling incredibly black-pilled lately, but your show takes the edge off. I only subscribe to you and Nick Rakita, our favorite big-nosed lawyer. I love Nick, man. He is hilarious. Dude he's self-deprecating in the best way. You know, he everything slides right off him. You can say whatever you want to him, and he's like, you know, it's your freedom to say whatever you want. I don't care. And we need more of that energy because people are so triggered by anything and everything. And it's so, let's legitimize and bring back not giving up about what people think, right? Goodness.
They got too much Kool-Aid in their cup, too much sugar in the tanks, man. You gotta,
Yeah.
you know, it's about piss and vinegar some days, man. You got to be a little hard-nosed.
Yep. You'd like Nick. He's great. Mao Demighty says, emphasize, but hold standards high. Emotions can lie. Ah, I like that. Hold the standards high. We got to, of course.
Right.
Mark G says, LBJ incentivized absent fathers with the Great Society plan. Don't need to worry about taking care of children when they could live on welfare. Oh man, the welfare system.
A lot of people, yeah. Everybody forgot about Lyndon Baines, man. That's virulent bigot too. Hated the guy.
Yep. The American's Creed. Have you ever heard of this?
Mm-mm.
I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it to you right now. I'm going to bring this up. Hold on. The American's Creed. This was written recently. I just found this randomly. All right. So the American's Creed. Let me pop this up. Well, am I not sharing it? There we go.
There we go.
I do not choose to be a common man. It is my right to be uncommon. I seek opportunity to develop whatever talents God gave me, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to barter incentive for a dull. I prefer the challenges of life. You're
keep going. She's saying bars. She's saying bars.
Okay, I like it. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will not trade freedom for the beneficence, nor my dignity for a handout. I will never cower before any earthly master, nor bend to any threat. It is my heritage to stand erect, proud, and unafraid, to think and act myself, enjoy the benefits of my creations, and to face the world boldly and say, this with God's help I have done. And that is the American's Creed. Whenever I hear welfare, it makes me think of this because I want to earn my keep. I work hard. I read a lot of stuff. I go live every day talking about stuff that I'm trying to understand and give people my opinion on things. I try to report news. Of course, I'm biased. Everyone's biased. You can't deny everyone's bias. It just is a simple thing, So, but the welfare system has really just taken this away, and they want people addicted to the state. Not even addicted. They want your children. They want you numbers in this cogwheel that they control. That's what they want.
It feeds into the hubris that simply by existing, you should have somebody sustain you without any effort on your part. And it's a gateway drug. Again, once you get a little welfare, you need a little more. You get a couple of food stamps on that card. Next thing you know, you're like, okay, well, these food stamps are nice, but this bill's a little high. Can I get a little bit of assistance with that? Then next thing you know, it goes to subsidies, payments. And before you know it, you can't do anything on your own without the state. So you're exactly right. That's amazing.
It's called the American's Creed. And I just my entire computer just went black, so I can't actually see anything right now. We're still here. All right, that's great. So I can't actually read any super chats, unfortunately, for a second. I'm trying to get back. I don't understand why this happened. Give me 1 second. I just want to see if I can.
Let's see. While we're here, guys, again, since I am now hosting the Flex Show, No. Don't worry. I'm not taking over for Adam. I'm not taking over. But while I'm here, I just want to take an opportunity to thank you guys again for having me on. Can't say that enough. Also, I've got a publication, a Substack. I've got plenty of things that I'm doing to take my message on a larger scale. So again, if you guys are interested, visit www.flexyoursuccess.com. Once again, that's www.flexyoursuccess.com. There you can find links to all my social media. You can find links to the Redacted Club, which is basically a off-center secret organization where we share the dankest of content that would surely get us thrown in the internet Gestapo. So, join all of that stuff. Okay. But before Adam comes back in, I kind of lose his platform. Really want to, I really want to say everything that we're trying to do for society takes little steps. Little steps. It's not going to be accomplished in a day. Be patient. The road to winning this fight, this battle, this war, whatever you want to call it, this ideological 4D warfare, it's a tactical battle where you have to grit your teeth and you've got to go in day after day, bring your lunch pail, be very hard nosed. So, okay, joining me now is my guest, Adam Crigler. Welcome to the Flex Show.
I figured it'd be fine. I'm not sure how long into I was just talking while I was trying to figure this out. How long into that before it kicked me off, but
that was a perfect segue.
I feel like you probably could have handled it well. Let's see here.
Definitely.
Yorick says, Adam brings up Tinder. Next thing you know, I feel like we're shooting at multiple targets, Adam. Take that as you will. The ropes have been thrown. I thought it's fine. We had a good natural talk about that. Mr. Knox says, black or white, who cares? We should be judged by character. It's what makes us human. Yes. Mm-hmm. Character. Right. Exactly. Anyone could be awesome. Anyone could be a terrible person. Period. Sejong the Great. Wow. With a $50 super chat. Holy crap. Sejong. How you doing, man? Thank you so much. Holy cow. It says crypto is rebounding. I'm making huge gains all over the place. My Hertz position from before they went bankrupt has turned into a warrant, and now it's gaining value again. Might make a huge wad off that. Hope for let's roll for 22 until none. Get them beans. All right, so this is for an actual bag of coffee. If you would like to guess, this is a 1 through 20 die. I've just officially rolled it, so good luck, everyone. You can win a bag of Crigler coffee. Why don't you take the first guess? You want to take a guess?
17.
All right, it's not 17. That's okay. All right, well, good luck, everybody, and we'll see. Let's see, the numbers are rolling in. Oh, snaps. I just want to make sure no one else guessed this. Mark G. We've got a winner. It is Mark G. How you doing, my man, Mark G? Wow. I love seeing the regulars. It is, in fact, 12. Mark G, you won one of my most... What's up? That was your second one? Well, it doesn't matter. You didn't win, so sucks for you. But that is awesome. Mark G, congratulations. I think by now you will know how to actually handle what just happened because you've seen the show enough. Email us. Are you actually in the States, Mark G? I'm not sure. If you are, and if you're not, unfortunately, we don't ship overseas, so it will be donated to 22 until none in its entirety. So awesome. Mark G, congratulations. If you are, in fact, just email me at thecriglershow.com. I'm fairly certain you know. Sejong, thank you so much for that huge super chat and gifting out. I don't know if you know, Malcolm, I have my own coffee company. It's called Crigler Coffee. It's rather delicious. And, I love coffee. I'm a big fan. Gee.
Hopefully you'll be taking over. Hopefully you'll be knocking Black Rifle off the spot. We got to get them out the paint.
I actually got a huge boost in business after they made that whole I can't stand Trump supporters speech. It's like, are you serious? Like, that's
Thank you.
your base. Like, Thank you for saying that. I
Mhm.
appreciate my newfound business. Jason Dixon says better than just another crypto. It's a solar energy company that provides 100% green energy to Bitcoin miners. Please check it out. Thanks, bro. Oh, okay, Jason, you had my attention before, but
Mhm.
now I'm very interested because that's pretty cool. That's interesting.
You got a
Uh,
mining rig?
I could technically I do. I have a really powerful computer with a 30 series graphics
Mhm.
card. I got lucky and was able to snag one. So
Jesus.
I could probably mine. I don't because I'm rather busy with the stuff that I'm currently doing right now. So
Right.
although but I'm on my computer, so I don't know if you have to leave it to do its own work or whatnot, but I don't know. Sejong the Great says you can't have welfare without unfair. Oh, I've never
Mhm.
heard that.
That's actually pretty good. I might have to drop that bar.
That's pretty good. I'm glad I
Hmm.
came up with that.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you did. Oh,
Thanks for
I was
that.
there.
Yeah, you like that? I was like, oh, I better
Hmm.
take this before he claims it. Thank you, Sejong. I like that. That's well said. Mitch with a $20 super chat says, amazing conversation to watch after surgery. I need to try Crigler coffee. Hate to say, but some help with medical bills would help blow through savings. Help me pay my surgery bills and insurance copay by Mitchell Devine and the GoFundMe. All right, hey, if you guys want to help Mitch, I thank you for supporting me just now. If you don't have to send such a big super chat, but I appreciate your support, and I hope you get through it. I'm glad that you got through the surgery. Hopefully, it all went well. You guys can check him out if you want to go help him out. Help me pay my
Definitely.
surgery bills and insurance copay. That is the actual title of the GoFundMe by Mitchell Devine. All right, good luck, Mitch. Burning Spear
Mhm.
Patriot says, black men let the state take care of their women. We have to take an L on that one.
Mm.
I don't think it's
They kicked us out. They kicked. It's complicated. It's a complicated little interplay. I think
yeah.
it was kind of mutual because they were kicking black men out the house at some point, and then black men really didn't fight that hard to get back in.
Mm,
But again, even then, that's not even a universal situation. There were a lot of black households and a lot of black cultures that stayed intact throughout all of that.
yeah.
Again, I'm kind of the product of a long-standing black household with roots in a couple of other areas. But again, even then, you're right. Welfare did a number on us, man. It really did.
I think welfare is destroying our country, and
Oh, it is.
like I said that we were talking about. I mean, pretty much a sub theme of this entire episode has been like the dumbing down of America, the dumbing down of
Mhm.
society, and how we're weaker. Right? We are becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. Like strong times, good times, weak
Right.
men, shitty times. Whatever that.
Mhm.
However many different ways you
Generational
can say
theory.
that, and that's where we're at. We're entering the weak times from the weak men. Like we are weak, and we're seeing what happens from this, and it's devolved
Mhm.
into where we are now. So
On average.
yeah. Chuck Morris says, I want to be judged by the content of my character and the size of my biceps. There you go.
Mhm.
All right. Well, you got to do work, I guess, for that, right? So
Put in the work, man.
put in the work.
Pulls.
I gotta
Pull
do
and
some
squat
work.
rack.
I'm scrawny over here. Um,
You're doing good.
But anyway, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I'm going to give you the camera. I know you already kind of had the camera when it was the Flex show, but I'm going to give you the camera
Yes.
again. Tell people what you're doing, how to follow you, what to look forward to, and all that good stuff. And don't forget to tell
Mhm.
everyone to smash that like button.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look, trust me. First things first. Smash the like button, guys. Again, help support this show. Adam's great. He's been growing. He's been putting in the work. See my little baby bottle over there. So yeah, I do a lot of this work to put milk in my baby's bottle. So that being said, if you guys would like to help support me, go to www.flexyoursuccess.com. Once again, that's www.flexyoursuccess.com. Sign up for the Substack. Go ahead and get a subscription. I'm running a welcome back special. I like to do podcasts for people where the articles that I read, those are all free. But if you want the added luxury of being able to just listen on the go or just get some new insights to maybe what I'm writing that I can't express the best on, just a couple of keys with limited characters, check out it and check out a premium subscription, support my work, and also join the Redacted Club, guys, because we're building a decentralized network. Nobody's cancel proof. So, with that being said, we're going to have a way for us to share whatever we're doing. We've got a growing list of I guess you can say, influencers. Guys like Mark Lobliner, Jake Coco, Ron Coleman, even Adam's in it, and we just share some of our content there. Yes, there the man is, man of the hour. But yeah, we share our content, and it's awesome because if one of us ever goes missing, or you don't know where to find us, we'll always be there. So that's the Redacted Club. So you can find all that on my site. And again, follow me on, let's see, God, which one is it? It's going to be Flex. I know I've got so many. I've got
Return of the Flex. Return of the Flex. All right. In fact, because of what happened earlier, someone actually said I missed a couple super chats, and I did find them. Actually, I went back. The Farm Engineer with the $10 super chat says, "Hey Malcolm, what do you recommend for real-time data visualization on Linux? Also, my rich black friend from Maryland works at Mother Jones, full woke. My cousin who happens to be black, not so much." Okay. Do you even work with Linux? I don't know much of it.
We actually don't. Within the hospital infrastructure, they've got us solidly grandfathered into the Microsoft system. So,
okay.
And I don't even think we have a Linux backend on any of our systems.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't help you there.
That's all right. That's all right.
Software is compatible.
Mark G says, "Playboy, it's a trap." Yeah, that's an understatement. Mister, it's not even a trap. It's like,
yeah, no.
It's like the front of a trap is like you maybe look like a girl, and then springs a dick in your face. It's like that's a trap. Like this was like blatantly a man on the cover.
I was about to say, there's no way. That's not
who's gonna fall for that? It's kind of obvious. Anyway, let's see. Mr. Knox says Hugh Hefner would be rolling in his grave if he saw that cover. Guess Playboy pushed their audience to other nudie mags like Penthouse. Yeah, there you go. The Last Crow changed the name from Playboy to Femboy. Or yeah, I could say some things, but Vash says Adam I just read the articles. I swear, CPT Playoni. I don't know what that means. Okay. Mark G says, "This is Playboy. They modeled an underage girl before. Did they really? That doesn't surprise me. And that's really sad." Serious Business says, What did you think of the new Chappelle special? I haven't seen it, actually. I didn't know there was a new Chappelle special. But I love Chappelle. He's a legend. Dude is a legend. I'm going to definitely check him out. Zacchaeus and Brannigan says, Q has created weak voters with no ground game. Interesting. Okay. Jedi Knight. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was actually about to posit that. Yeah, it's true. It's that whole messianic type culture, unfortunately, where you're just waiting on somebody. You want to think that there's a plan instead of making a plan yourself.
Right. Exactly. It keeps people complacent and not getting in and doing the actual work themselves. Oh, someone else is doing it? No, I don't have to do anything? Oh yeah, great. I'm gonna sit comfortable on my couch, like you said. Like
patriots are in control.
Yeah.
Pelosi the white hat.
Yeah.
Trust Sessions, he will be activated.
Oh my goodness. The Durham report will come. Oh my goodness. Although it finally did come, and it's pretty damning for the Clintons. But anyway.
We're close.
Yeah, Jedi Knight Anaquin Cringewalker, what's good, mate? Says something you all have to research is if social media used algorithms to predict who you likely were to vote for and only remind Dems to vote. Probably, actually, that's a good point. Probably. All right, now I caught up to my other super chats. Let me just make sure we didn't catch any more. Just a reminder, everyone, I will not have a show tomorrow. Tomorrow, I am not going live because I am heading to Texas tomorrow morning. I'm going to be doing the both the podcast. I'm drawing a blank now. You Are Here. That's the name of their new show. You Are Here. It's taking place right now. They're live. So tomorrow I'm going to be joining them. And unfortunately, I won't be doing my show tomorrow. I'm also going to be on Elijah's earlier show. Oh, kids, they're fantastic. Malcolm, it's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you, everyone, for joining. And we will see you all next time here on the Crigler Show, which is going to be Friday, because I am not going to be going live tomorrow. I'm going to have a post. In fact, maybe I'll actually go live from the studio and kind of take over. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you all for joining. I'll see you next time.
All righty.